Welcome to St Richard's Hospice webinar. This is an empowerment webinar on the subject of nature and how it can support our physical and mental well-being. Hello, my name is Emma Curtin and I'm joined by my colleague Carol Graham, Therapy Support Assistant, and I'm a therapist. And we will be your guides on this empowerment webinar. We do hope you'll find it useful, and if you would like any additional information on the contents, please do get in contact with us. So this webinar is to help you to develop self-help tools. If you have any medical or emotional questions, or if it raises any concerns, please contact your usual health provider. In this webinar, we shall be telling you about nature and its many benefits, how we can use nature to support our physical and mental well-being, the evidence there is out there that it can help, the many ways in which we can participate. There's some information about forest bathing, or Shinrin-yoku, which is the Japanese for forest bathing. There's some more information about how you can participate. And then there's some information about how we can help you with our nature therapy drop-ins. Nature contact refers to any human interaction with our biophysical system. This includes not only plants, but also animals and geological landforms. This knowledge that having contact with nature in some way is good for us is almost instinctive, and how we all seem to turn back to nature during the lockdowns 2 years ago. We sought diversion, yes, but according to the research, lots of us turned to nature and the natural world for that diversion. We went for walks, we nurtured our gardens, we looked at wildlife trust webcams, we bought indoor plants. Nature is unperturbed by our feelings, says Sue Stewart-Smith, a psychiatrist, gardener, and nature writer. At a time of chaos, nature is constant. It is a point of stability in unsettling and uncertain times. Nature is bigger than ourselves and our lives and our human concerns, and it helps provide us with perspective when life gets difficult. A lot of scientific evidence is now available to prove that contact with nature is associated with a range of positive mental health and physical benefits. Nature can heal. Being in nature, or even viewing scenes of nature, can reduce anger, fear, and stress, and increase pleasant feelings. Exposure to nature can make us feel better emotionally. Nature can contribute to our physical well-being, reducing our blood pressure, our heart rate, and muscular tension, and the production of stress hormones. Nature can soothe. Nature can help us cope with pain. We are genetically programmed to find trees, plants, water, and other natural elements engrossing. We can be absorbed by nature scenes and distracted from discomfort and even pain. In a study in Mind, 95% of those interviewed said their mood improved after spending time outside, changing from depressed and stressed and anxious to calmer and more balanced. Time in nature or scenes of nature are associated with a positive mood and psychological well-being, meaningfulness and vitality. Time in nature and viewing nature can increase our ability to pay attention and be present. We humans find nature inherently interesting and we naturally focus on what we are experiencing out in nature. And this can provide respite for our overactive minds and refresh us for new tasks. So how can the contact with nature be? It can be either incidental, that sort of neighbourhood green space exposure, intentional, e.g. visits to natural spaces, or indirect, say from television programmes. In our modern society, where most people live in cities with little or no green spaces and spend most of their time working indoors, our everyday exposure to nature is much reduced from generations before us. It does therefore require a bit more effort on our part to gain access to nature today. So going outside, we can do gardening, walking, spending a few minutes outdoors, just sitting. We can bring nature indoors. We can nurture indoor plants. We can view natural elements outside our windows. We can read books and magazines with nature scenes. And we can observe nature. We can watch birds and plants and other animals outside. And luckily, according to research, there is no one way of connecting with nature that is better than another. Let us now have a more in-depth look at one of the ways in which we can make contact with nature. Forest bathing, Shinrin-yoku. Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing, is a healing practice originating in Japan, where people immerse themselves in nature whilst mindfully paying attention to their senses. This often involves a walk in the forest or a wood, and it aims to integrate and harmonize humans with nature. The practice began in Japan in the 1980s, and around a quarter of the Japanese population have tried this therapy. In recent years, follow-up research has shown that walking or being in a green space has a direct positive effect on several systems in our bodies. Blood pressure decreases, levels of the stress hormone cortisol can drop, anxiety is alleviated, and pulse rates diminish in subjects who have spent time in nature and amongst trees. Levels of activity in the sympathetic nervous system responsible for our fight or flight response to stress drop away, and the activity of a particular kind of white blood cell called NK, natural killer cells, which can destroy virally infected and certain cancerous cells, increases when humans spend time in nature and amongst trees. And these biochemical changes lasted long after exposure. Plants are known to produce compounds and oils known as phytoncides. Studies show inhalation of these affect our immune, hormonal, circulatory, and nervous systems. And just being outside can help. Studies show when sunlight hits the skin or eye's retina, it can trigger the release of serotonin, a compound in our bodies linked to our moods. When we take even light exercise, such as walking, endorphins, which are neurotransmitters, are released, and these can diminish our sensation of pain and induce a gentle high. Another way in which the natural world can influence us can come from the soil. Some bacteria in soil, when handled, can trigger a further release of serotonin, the feel-good chemical. Now let us take another look how being in nature can help us stay present. If you have a look at the picture, you will see two triangles make a rectangular shape. We can say this rectangular shape can, in a way, represent what we are aware of in any given moment. You can be interpreting and thinking about what is happening to you, the process experience, and that is the right-hand triangle. Or you can be paying attention directly to the sensations that you experience without trying to interpret or make sense of them. If we are feeling low in mood or stressed, we tend to live in the top part of the rectangle. Lots of thinking and remembering and planning and problem solving. We may get stuck in these. You can never just live in the verbal mode or the sensory mode, but if you find yourself spending most of your time in the verbal mode, then by reconnecting with what we actually feel, what you can sense from your body, the sensory mode, this will help you move down more towards the bottom of the rectangle. This can help to rebalance your experience of life and tune down the mental chatter of the mind. You can choose to connect with your sense in any given moment. And by doing so, turn down the volume of the mental chatter. If you are sitting, if you're drinking a cup of tea, or you're listening to the birds. When you're outside in nature, there are sounds, sights, and smells, and tactile experiences to explore, making the present moment much easier to access. There are many woods and forests around us. Maybe next time you have a few hours to spare, head out to one of them and try some forest bathing. How? Keep your eyes open. The colours of nature are soothing, and studies have shown that people relax best when seeing greens and blues. For more information on forest bathing, you can download a free Forest for Wellbeing leaflet from the Forestry England website, or have a look at the National Trust website and their information on forest bathing. And now over to my colleague, Carol Graham, for a little bit more about how we can access nature and how it can help.
Social and therapeutic horticulture is about supporting and developing people to improve their mental and physical health through gardening, supporting people with disabilities, as well as those who are coming with the effects of depression, social isolation, and long-term unemployment. So what can we do? We can help people to work together, make friends and build social skills, provide a safe environment for people to develop, provide the chance to learn new skills and work within a team. It gives people a sense of achievement through learning new skills. Let's look at social and therapeutic horticulture. This helps people to rehabilitate themselves after illness or trauma, improves mobility and motor skills in those who have lost strength through long-term illness and disability, increase a sense of well-being from getting outside and working with plants and nature, helps people to develop at the rate that is right for them. Horticulture therapy can also help people who are recovering from a stroke, in the early stage of dementia, have lost sight, young people with special needs and people with physical and mental disabilities. Let's look at ecotherapy. Ecotherapy is an approach that rests on the idea that people have a deep connection to their environment and to the earth itself. Spending time in nature can have a pretty positive impact on your mental health. In the same line of thinking, failing to nurture this connection can take a toll on your well-being, particularly your mental health. It is fairly inexpensive and relatively easy to access. It can take place in a group therapy setting as well as social activity. Many ecotherapy practices also prioritise building a two-way relationship with nature by giving them something back to the area, whether it's collecting rubbish or planting trees. This may help with issues related to eco-anxiety or anxiety related to concerns such as environmental damage and degradation, global warming or natural disasters. They can encourage reducing your carbon footprint, such as recycling, composting and limiting driving, benefiting you, and the planet. So what are the different types? Ecotherapy can involve loosely structured activities such as walking along the beach or going for a hike in a forested area. You can also choose to participate in more formal approaches, often with the guidance of a therapist. Community gardening or farming with neighbours on shared land offers the chance to grow your own produce, build relationships, and spend time working outdoors. Some programmes also teach basic farming tasks like tending animals or crops. It can reduce loneliness, acquaint you with new people, and increase feelings of community solidarity. Gardening with others or on your own involves plenty of movement, which is good. Digging helps create a bacteria, a type of healthy bacteria found in soil. And this helps to trigger the release of serotonin, which we've heard about already, which is a hormone linked to positive moods. Use the senses to fully experience your garden. You can do this by feeling the soil in your hands, breathing in the scent of the earth and the growing plants, and watch your emotions as you experience watching the plants as they blossom. There's wilderness or adventure therapy. This approach to mental health treatment teaches coping techniques and therapeutic skills to teens and young adults as they camp and hike in the wilderness with their peers. There are park prescriptions, and these are starting to be recommended by professionals so that people spend specific amounts of time each week visiting a park or pursuing other outdoor activities. Forest bathing, as we've heard, encourages the mindful use of 5 senses as you ramble through the forest or similarly heavy tree settings. Animal-assisted therapy is petting, playing, or working with animals like horses, dogs, and birds outdoors, and this can offer another way to manage stress. There's outdoor meditation, such as yoga. This, as we know, is good for you, but doing it outside can also add extra rewards to yourself. So what are the benefits of ecotherapy? There's more opportunities for social connection. Plenty of people with a fondness of hiking and nature walks prefer to do it in groups. There are sites such as Meetup that can help you find other interested people in the same sort of activities. But what about motivation to exercise? Exercise can help improve sleep and other aspects of physical health, but it can also help with a positive impact on your mental health. Fresh air can lift a bad mood, or sunshine may have a more direct impact on your feelings of depression or anxiety. Try plogging, just picking up rubbish whilst you jog. Increase mindfulness. When you spend time in nature, you are more likely to use the senses and experience your surroundings. Calming sounds like birds chirping or the rustling of leaves can help you detach from traffic, work conflicts, and ordinary stresses of everyday life. Turning your attention towards the scenery can also help you practice focusing on the present instead of mentally recycling through worrisome thoughts. By spending more time in nature, you might even, if unintentionally, build a mindfulness habit. So what does the research say? So for resilience, according to the study in 2018, children living in rural areas tended to have greater resilience to stress, higher levels of self-worth, and improved concentration and cognitive abilities. Time outdoors can also promote creativity and strengthen their sense of self. For post-traumatic stress disorders, PTSD, the same review found support for ecotherapy as promising interventions for veterans who have PTSD. A 2017 review emphasises the potential benefits of nature therapy with this condition, particularly for those who have difficulty following other treatment programmes. They find them very helpful. For nervous system recovery, a 2010 study suggests that when you're exposed to stress, the sounds of nature may help your nervous system recover faster than sounds of traffic and other common city noises. For improved well-being, a 2020 study suggests gardening at home can promote emotional well-being, and a 2019 study also supports the benefits of gardening for patients as a psychiatric hospital. Many reported better moods, increased calm, feelings of belonging, and a deeper understanding of their mental health. So what can you try on your own? Try gardening. This is literally in your own backyard and can be accessed at any time. It can be inexpensive and provide exercise, and this can be done on your own or with others, and it's suitable for all ages. You can explore nature in the darker side, literally. A small pilot study in 2014 suggests that dark nature activities like stargazing could offer similar benefits as people who look at daytime activities outside. It includes the feeling of calm and relaxation and a great sense of connectivity to the natural world. Spend time amongst the trees. Find some trees or a forest and go for a walk. Pay attention to what you see, smell and hear. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty by touching the trees or the ground or the leaves. Let the natural sounds fill your ears. Consider bringing a book to read under a tree. Meditate, journal or draw about your experience. Your goal is to immerse yourself in the woods. Try not to use your phone or technology if you can avoid it, although it is a good idea to take it with you for emergencies. Take regular activities outside. Move some of your usual activities outside. If you usually work at home or in the gym, try taking a bike ride or running alongside a park trail. Take pleasure reading, school textbooks or work documents outdoors. Even sitting on a bench under a tree can make a difference. Pack a picnic. Practice mindfulness as you enjoy a meal on a beautiful natural setting. Make it a social experience by inviting family or friends to join you, and challenge each of you to look and to see what you can see in the environment. Then we come to nature therapy. Don't hesitate to reach out for extra support. If you want to reap the full benefits of ecotherapy, it's best to work with an experienced therapist. As an approach to mental health treatment, ecotherapy is still fairly new, so you may need to do a little bit of exploration to find a therapist who offers ecotherapy. Start with a quick online search for nature therapists or ecotherapists in your area. Many therapists offer nature-based approaches without listing themselves as ecotherapists, so it may be worthwhile contacting them and asking a few. If you already have found a therapist that you're comfortable with, mention your interests in nature therapy. They may be able to offer you guidance in finding the right program or the right therapist themselves. The bottom line is, scientific evidence continues to explore mental health benefits of ecotherapy, but it's pretty safe to say that nature, while not a miracle cure, does help up speed people's recovery. So at St Richard's Hospice, we do offer nature therapy. It's a 40-minute session that runs bi-weekly on a Thursday. So if you want to come along, it's a drop-in session. So when you're free, contact the Live and Well team and ask for a Zoom link, and you can come along and have a look. Or go onto our website, and we've got the link here, and actually look to see about the webinars that we're offering and the drop-in groups that we have too. The type of things that we look at are indoor plants, how to care and propagate them, observing nature such as birds. We look at gardening inside and outside, edibles, ornamentals and plants in all seasons.
If you would like to read more or have further reading, here are some references and some books. We thank you very much for joining us. Hope you'll find this webinar useful. If you would like any further information on the contents, please do get in contact with us.